Hey everyone, and welcome to my Fantasy Comics for Beginners recommendation. Comics can be really difficult to get into, so today what I'm going to be doing is giving you some of my favourite starting points if you are brand new to the medium. The first one I'm going to mention is perfect for Grishaverse fans, and that is The Demon in the Woods. This is by Leigh Bardugo, and it's actually the prequel story about the Darkling and his childhood. So if you are a fan of Grishaverse, this is a fantastic place to start with comics, because it's already in a world you already know, with characters you already know as well. What also makes this perfect is the fact that it's only one volume long, so you don't have to worry about any kind of reading order or anything else. The colour palette and the artwork is also absolutely stunning. It looks like this on the inside as well, and it is just a fantastic story all round. And if you're looking for a great place to start with comics, or just to maybe build your confidence with the medium, this is a fantastic place to go if you are a fan of Grishaverse. On a similar note, if you're a fan of Darker Shade of Magic, you can also read the Steel Prince series. This is still by V.E. Schwab, and it is dealing with Kellum Rye's father and what happened to earn him the name of the Steel Prince. That is the first volume, and then the subsequent volumes also deal with the Rebel Army story, and then also the Knight of Knives story that you hear about in the original trilogy of books. So if you're interested in finding out about those stories, they are chronicled in these ones. It's only 3 volumes long, so it's a really easy reading order to read without 101 spin-offs that you have to deal with or worry about. The artwork in here is also beautiful. It looks like this on the inside, and it is a fantastic place to start with comics as well, especially if you are a fan of Darker Shade of Magic. If you're someone who reads mainly contemporary and maybe a little bit of fantasy, you can also try out I Feel Awful Thanks. This is by Lara Pickle, and it's about a young witch who is entering into the world of work and what happens when she starts having problems at work and starts feeling depressed and things like this. So if you are a fan of those type of contemporary stories, you can definitely read this one. It is only very minorly magic because it is dealing with witches, but it's not a overly complicated magic world if that is not your thing. If I remember rightly, it's semi-autobiographical as well, so it's done with, from a place of experience as well, so the representation in here is done very well. The artwork in here as well looks like this, so it's a really nice artwork. It's only 1 volume long once again as well, so if you are someone who doesn't want to be dealing with really complicated reading orders or anything else, you can read this one really easily, and it is a fantastic place to start if you do not want to read anything that's like spin-offs of other book series or anything else, and you just want something that feels a little bit relatable and a little bit contemporary and while still having that fantasy edge to it. You can definitely read this one, no problems. If you're a fan of Sinners, you should definitely check out Bitter Root. This one is all about a black family in 1920s Harlem who are also monster hunters, and while this isn't dealing specifically with vampires like they are in Sinners, it is definitely dealing with racism and sexism and everything else from around that time. I love the conversations this had around racism and sexism and all of that kind of thing. I thought it was done brilliantly well. It's only 3 volumes long as well, so if you are someone who is very nervous about comics and you aren't quite sure where to start and you don't want something with a really complicated reading order, you will be absolutely fine reading Bitter Root, because it's literally volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and then the story is for now over. I am still hoping it's going to continue on in the future, but at the moment there are these 3 volumes and it contains one overarching storyline without any spin-offs or anything else that you have to worry about. So if you're brand new to comics and you really enjoyed Sinners, this is definitely a good one to read. If you're a fan of Deadpool, you can also check out I Hate Fairyland by Skottie Young, and this one is so much fun to read if you are a fan of Deadpool and that kind of sense of humour, because this is all about Gert, who is a 6-year-old girl who got stuck in Fairyland 30 years ago and is now desperate to get home. The only problem is that she has no idea how to get home, so she decides to essentially Deadpool her way out of it, and it is so much fun to read if you are a fan of that kind of sense of humour and that kind of sort of violence level that you see in Deadpool. If you're not a fan of that, I would definitely not recommend this to you, because it is very sort of heavy on the violence and that kind of like heavy swearing sense of humour and stuff. But if you love that kind of thing, you will love I Hate Fairyland. It is so much fun to read. It is currently ongoing. There's up to 9 volumes I think it is now, if I remember rightly, and it's still ongoing, but it is a fantastic thing to read. There are a couple of spin-offs, but you don't have to read those necessarily if you do not want to. If you just want to read the Gert story, you can just do that and just follow the numbering system the whole way through and you'll be absolutely fine. The artwork in here is also gorgeous. If I can find a bit that doesn't look too violent in case you're not a fan of violence. If you give me a second, you've got, there we go, you've got artwork that looks like this on the inside, and it is just a really, really fun time, especially if you are a fan of things like Deadpool. If you're a fan of the movie The Old Guard, you can also read the original comic. This one is by Greg Rucka, and it is done absolutely word for word as an adaptation from the comic into the movie. If you don't know what The Old Guard is about a group of immortal warriors who've teamed up together over the centuries for the greater good, and what happens when a pharmaceutical owner ends up discovering that they exist and trying to kidnap them for his own means. It all goes from there. It is a fantastic one to read. There's only 2 volumes at the moment as well, so it's a really, really easy reading order, and if you are a fan of the movie, you will definitely enjoy this comic as well, because the movie really accurately adapted the comic. It is practically word for word adapted in places, which is always a good thing. I thoroughly enjoyed this comic when I read it. I am so excited to read the second one in time for the second movie to come out, and I cannot recommend it enough, especially if you are brand new to comics and you want to give one a go. And that is some of the best places you can start with fantasy comics. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me if there's any other genre you'd like to see me cover in a video like this. I'd love to know so I can get working on it. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a star emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, which has got a ton of explainers, reading guides, starting points, character profiles, all of that kind of thing on there if you want to get into Marvel Comics. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos where I'll be doing more videos like this, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But till next time everyone, bye!